Hi, Passionators. Finally, right? I, Wi-Fi and rain don't mix around here. So I'm having a little trouble with the connection, but let me know, if you can hear me or if you cannot hear me, if there are any problems, and I'll do my best to address it, especially since I'm getting started so late tonight. I obviously didn't plan this one either, but after some encouragement from unexpected places earlier today, I ran into one of my favorite passionators, and he stopped to let me know how much he appreciated these FB Lives. So that's always great when I hear that, especially when I hear it from the fellas, because this is a kind of conversation that a lot of fellas just really don't want to participate in too much, especially not when there's a woman leading the discussion. So I take that very seriously, and I appreciate it. I consider it a privilege, and I'm very glad you guys keep coming back. So by all means, keep letting me know what it is you would like to talk about. You can private message me, or you can leave me a comment on my Facebook page. I do comment personally. I have some help with other things, but the comments are mine. And tonight, anyway. Oh, and if you'd like to get on my mailing list and get your own copy of the Get Back to Passion cheat sheet, go to EdenAdele.com. EdenAdele.com. And as always, feel free to share this video. Tonight's discussion is about closure. And it is, once again, in the relationship discussions that are popular on the internet right now. Usually, this conversation centers around somebody who feels like they've been betrayed. And maybe they have been betrayed. Or they were in a relationship that they thought was going well, and then it all of a sudden went south, right? And they feel entitled to an explanation. They feel entitled to know what happened, what went wrong, and why it went wrong. They also feel entitled to an opportunity to let the other person know just how badly hurt they are, to let them know just how wrong they were, to make sure they feel the pain that they caused them, right? That's what closure is typically about. And all of those things are precisely why closure never works. It just doesn't, because it doesn't do any of that. The idea that you can get all your questions answered in the first place is unreasonable and impossible. Even if it could be done, it wouldn't change the outcome. And that's usually why people ask all these questions. They really do believe that if they ask enough questions and they get enough answers, that they could either do something or say something that would change the outcome. And that's just not how this works. That's not how any of this works. There is nothing about asking a million questions that keep you on the hamster wheel that is going to make your situation any different than it already is. There's the offshoot of questions like that is usually the idea that at the end of this interrogation, we can get back together, or there's some way I can get my ex back, and I need to get them to want me again, to love me again, to come back to me again. I need to do everything I can to get them back. In fact, if you Google how to get my ex back, millions of entries come up. Millions. Why? Because there are so many people hanging on to this notion that they should have their ex back because they were the ones who didn't want to let their ex go in the first place. And the reason why that usually doesn't work is because it's all about you and it has nothing to do with your partner. It's like you get this idea in your mind that if you do enough to show your partner how much you really do love them after all, and you apologize profusely and you make these grandiose gestures of making amends, and you show how pathetic and how sorry you are for whatever it was you did or what they imagined you did, that will make them want you back. And it actually pretty much has the opposite effect. It just does. That's not what attraction is about. It doesn't create attraction, and it doesn't restart attraction. It just screams desperation. It screams self-absorption. It screams selfishness. And it lets the person know in no uncertain terms that you are not thinking about them. You aren't even aware of what's going on in their world. You have no clue. And you really don't care because it's more important to you that you get what you want. And because you believe that what you want is so noble, is so righteous, is so romantic even, that you're entitled to it. After all, you didn't do anything wrong. There's no reason why you should have to give up this relationship that you didn't want to give up because you didn't do anything wrong. You feel entitled to the relationship for as long as you want the relationship because you didn't do anything wrong. And that is the unreasonable expectation because you aren't the only one in the relationship. And even if you didn't do anything wrong, that doesn't mean the relationship won't end. It's like just because the relationship ended doesn't mean it failed either. It just means that the relationship served its purpose. Everybody in your life is temporary anyway. Even the ones you're married to. They're temporary too. You are your only permanent relationship. You are your only permanent relationship. So just because you didn't do anything wrong is no guarantee that your relationship isn't going to end. And for you to expect that is unreasonable. And for you to think that you are then entitled to have that relationship back is selfish. It's all about what you want. And it shows no acknowledgement at all for what is going on in the world of the partner that left. For whatever reason they left. Closure is a way to stay entangled in a relationship that's already toxic to you. It's already bad for you. It's already not giving you what you need in order to be happy, in order to feel secure, in order to feel loved and cherished and treasured and wanted and desired. It's not giving you that. And you desperately hang on to it anyway, or you try to hang on to it anyway, or you do everything that you can to get back into it anyway. Because it's always been there. And because you wanted to stay there. And because you were the one who didn't walk away. So you are entitled to the fruit of your labor, and you feel like you've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and led astray. And maybe you have been. Maybe you have been wronged. Maybe you have been betrayed. All I'm trying to say is that none of that guarantees you a right to get back into the relationship. None of that guarantees you a right to continue the relationship. None of that even guarantees you a possibility that the relationship can be reformed into something that you would actually be happy to be in. None of that. None of it. And until you embrace that relationships are temporary, that they are all temporary, that they are short-term temporary, some are long-term temporary, most are somewhere in the middle. Until you understand that, until you embrace that, until you accept that, you are going to spend your life in cyclical misery, relationship after relationship after relationship, because none of them is going to end the way you want them to end, unless you are the one who ends them. And even then, it's not a pain-free experience. It's just not. If you're looking for a way to escape the pain of losing a relationship, closure is not it. You can't ask enough questions, and you won't get enough answers. Because nothing you ask is going to change anything. You only ask the questions because you believe somewhere deep down inside that once you get to the right question and the right answer, that you can undo all of it. That you can unbreak your own heart. And you can't. You want closure, but you're the one that's holding the door open. Closure starts with you. It doesn't start with the questions. It doesn't start with the answers to questions that you think you want to know, that you need to know, that you're entitled to have. Closure is basically fiction. It's a construct. It looks good in the media. It's great clickbait. But in a real relationship, it doesn't help. It's not useful. It doesn't work. All it does is keep you on the hamster wheel. That's what it does. I like to call it emotional masturbation. It may make you feel better. It may even give you a release. But it produces no life. At least with physical masturbation, you feel better afterward. But with closure, you typically feel worse. Because you never get it. One question just leads to another question, which leads to another question. You get an answer, then you question the answer. You ask a question, the question gets answered. You get the answer, and then you question the answer. And the hamster wheel keeps spinning, and you're still in the same situation. Well, how do I get them back? How do I stop longing for them? You change your focus. You change your focus away from them. Because it was never about them anyway. You want closure, but you're the one who's holding the door open. Close the door. Cut the contact. Stop stalking their social media. Stop responding to their texts. When the phone rings, don't answer it. If they show up at the door, don't open it. Cut them off. Change your focus. Concentrate on yourself. Yourself. Stop trying to fix stuff that isn't broken. The relationship isn't broken. That's not why it ended. It ended because it was supposed to end. It ended because it was time for it to end. Maybe it ended because the person who betrayed you did something stupid. And they might even regret it. That doesn't mean you're supposed to be back in the relationship. That's not what that means. Just because you love them doesn't mean you're supposed to be in a relationship with them. Just because you don't want to leave doesn't mean you're in love. As you can tell, I'm losing my light. I'm trying to work with it. I got seriously sidetracked with technical issues this evening, but I still wanted to bring you a message that I hope will be useful. I want to thank you for working with me through my challenges, my technical difficulties. But please share this video, because there are people who are stuck on this closure hamster wheel that are wasting their life by the moment, by the week, by the month, by the year, looking for answers that they'll never get to questions that don't matter anyway. And their irreplaceable life is passing them by. This isn't a dress rehearsal. If love is what you really want, then you have to do the things that actually encourage love to happen. And trying to get answers about why somebody ghosted you, or why they mistreated you, or why they walked away from you doesn't lead you there. It doesn't get you any closer to what love actually is. It doesn't get you any closer to a person who would actually treasure your heart. It doesn't get you any closer to anybody who actually cares about what matters to you. It doesn't get you any closer to that. You can be right, though. And if being right is more important to you, then you'll keep chasing answers to questions that don't matter. If love is what matters to you, then you'll do what it takes to have it. And if you can't get it from the partner that you have, if you can't get it from the partner that just walked away from you, that doesn't mean it isn't available. It just means it's not available from them. And you feeling entitled to have it from them just because you've been with them forever, or just because they promised it to you, isn't getting you any closer to it. If you tell the whole truth about the situation to yourself, you won't have to tell the truth to them. You want closure, but you are the one who's holding open the door. You won't have closure until you close the door. You're still waiting for somebody else to close your door, and it is not going to happen. You're the one who opened that door, and you're the one who's holding it open, expecting somebody else to close it for you, expecting somebody else to make it okay that they broke your heart, expecting somebody else to make it okay that they mistreated you, that they broke their promise to you, that they lied to you, that they cheated on you, that they betrayed you. You're expecting somebody else to be able to say or do something to make that okay somehow. And that isn't going to happen. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, no matter how they beg, no matter how they cry, no matter how many tantrums they have, no matter what promises they make, None of that is going to change who they are. And who they are is the kind of person who could do that to you in the first place. That's who they are. And if they did it once, they'll be a lot more likely to do it again. Particularly if the only indication that you have that they wouldn't do it again is that they said they wouldn't do it again. Well, they told me they would never do that to me again. They said they were really sorry. We're going to counseling now. Well, we're kind of going to counseling because when we get to counseling, they don't really want to talk about it. They feel like they're being beat up on, so they don't want to talk. And when we leave, they don't want to talk because it makes them feel bad. But they're not going to do it anymore because they know how much it hurt me. Can I just tell you a secret? All that effort that you put into trying to make sure they know how much it hurt you, how much damage they caused to you, just how badly your heart is broken, they don't care. They don't care. They don't care how much it hurt you. Because it was never about you. They didn't do whatever it was they didn't do it because of you. They didn't do it to you. They didn't do it for you. It wasn't about you. It was entirely about them. And as long as they can make sense out of it, as long as they're cool with it, they don't care how it affected you. It's not important. Even if they love you, it's not important. So you got a decision to make. Do you really want to stay in a relationship where how you feel or what's important to you isn't important to your partner? Because if it's not, and you stay, trust and believe you'll be in that situation again, only it'll be worse next time. Because they'll get better at hiding it. So it'll take you longer to discover it. And this time it may cost you a whole lot more than a broken heart. It may cost you what you never dreamed of. So stop chasing closure. Stop waiting for somebody else to close your door. Stop opening doors that you aren't ready to walk through yourself. Stop breaking your own heart and expecting somebody else to unbreak it for you. You are the key to the open door that you need to close. Close your own door. Focus on yourself and stop pretending like they can't live without you. They're going to live very well without you. Don't let them make you think anything else. They are quite capable of manipulating somebody else to do for them what you did for them. Believe that. They will be fine without you. Take care of yourself, because that's the one thing nobody else is going to do for you. Take care of yourself. Be your own rescue. Heal your own heart so that you can love the way you know you're capable of. Sorry about all the shadows. Sorry about the bad light. I hope the internet connection kept me audible, even if I'm not very visible. Sorry, I look more like a horror movie with this little bit of light behind me, but I did want to at least get this message done tonight. And I'll be back again soon. If there's anything specific you want me to talk about, private message me or leave a comment under this video. And please share it. And let's see how many people we can get off the closure hamster wheel. And there's a lot more hamster wheels. I'm putting together a series about these questions that keep us on this, that keep us away from the love. So stay tuned. That announcement is coming soon. And I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to unpack some baggage. It's going to unpack some serious baggage. So for now, I wish you a restful night. I wish you peaceful dreams. Rest well, passionators. For tomorrow we rise to love one more time. Thanks again for tuning in. Next time I'll start earlier so we can go a little longer. Good night, everyone.